For 43 years, Bob Barnes has tirelessly served the Bristol community through his work with the Bristol, Tennessee Fire Department. In 2007, Barnes was named as the department's new fire chief, and during this time, Chief Barnes has overseen the department's designation as an internationally accredited agency by the Commission of Fire Accreditation International, which places Bristol as one of only 5 fire departments in the state of Tennessee to achieve such an award. Chief Barnes also oversaw the construction of the new Fire Station No. 5, which is set to open in the coming weeks. After a successful 43-year career with the Bristol, Tennessee Fire Department, Chief Barnes is retiring on December 18, 2017. On December 13th, friends and colleagues gathered at a celebration in Barnes' honor at the Central Fire Station.
We're gathered today to celebrate just an awesome career of Chief Bob Barnes. 43 years of fire service to this community. Yeah. And I'd like to say, especially for the young firefighters here, if you're looking for a role model in your profession, it's right here. Bob joined us just shy of his 22nd birthday. In November of 1974, he went to the old Central Fire Station there with Chief Vincent and others. The old fire station was located on what's now MLK Boulevard. And the pole that you see next to the serving table came out of that old station. So Bob's seen a lot of change within our organization. He also came here during the most aggressive times of annexation, when all of the Avoca area was annexed, and the additional fire substations that you see now. So Bob has seen a tremendous amount of change. He was promoted to lieutenant in 1983 and then became a captain shift commander in 1995. Remained as a shift commander until 2007 when he was promoted to chief. Along the way, and pay particular attention to this, he figured out how to take advantage of our tuition and that we provide for you, and got his undergraduate degree in business administration. He also received a certification as a financial planner, and actually had a business on the side doing tax planning and financial planning for individuals. Very well educated, took the profession and professional development to heart. But again, let's go back to changes. I know we were reminiscing. I was reminiscing with Assistant Fire Chief Jim Everhart about the old days of the Bristol Life-Saving Crew, and how that area, how that organization served basically from Southwest Virginia all the way to Holston Mountain. But then in the late 1990s, Bristol, Tennessee got into the emergency medical business, and everyone became emergency medical technicians, many paramedics here, and that became a focus of our department. And it's an area that many fire departments don't delve into, but it really enhanced the emergency medical services within our community. He also saw the advent of the public safety program. He saw it come in the mid-1990s. He saw it, matter of fact, he was chief when it disbanded. And he, along with Chief Wade, recognized that the demands of both the fire service and the police service had outpaced the ability of the PSO program to maintain. And his leadership, along with Chief Wade's leadership, brought your organization once again to a new level. He also saw the relocation, along with Chief Vincent, of the fire substation on Summerwood Drive to Exide Drive to once again serve annexed areas and the new Exide plant that had located there. Most recently, and I think some of the most significant, was the accreditation process that he led this organization to. The Commission of Fire Accreditation International brought us one of 5 across the state of Tennessee, Kingsport being another one of those, and your recertification, and congratulations to you all. But under his leadership, that program was brought about. He's also overseen the construction of Fire Station 5. And I can tell you, I know we're having a lot of conversations among City Council right now about design standards. And I think as they go through this debate in the coming months, you can look at Fire Station 5 and you can see that Bristol, Tennessee has reached out and has done something truly significant in terms of our design standards. We are leading by example in terms of what a fire substation should look like in our community again. I'd also like to say, and this is especially great for a city manager, the morale of this fire department is the highest I have ever seen it. And that's exciting. It makes my life great. I'm excited about that aspect of it. And it's under his very quiet leadership that's happened. And I just would like to thank you, Bob, for everything that you've done during my tenure as a city manager, and then for your friendship throughout the years in my 25 years with the city.
When you look back at the opportunity, look at the audience we have here today. This is a testament to the positive impact that Chief Barnes has had on each of us. I know for me it's been telling the story of what we do. For some of those who have been through the Fire Academy, it's learning firsthand what you go through on a day in and day out basis as a firefighter. Just a little glimpse of it though. Those things add value and give great perspective to those of us who have an opportunity to learn about it and frankly get a much greater appreciation. I met several different folks today, and a couple of you I haven't gotten a chance to meet, but met one of the fellows who has been through some of the training with Chief Barnes back in the day, and I'm going to make you feel old here for a second. I actually wasn't born when he had come to Bristol. So, but your testament, the longevity here, the way that you have been able to add value to those in the department and also those peers who are going through those accreditation challenges and other opportunities to make your departments better. And as you reach out and say, I want to make Bristol's fire department better, how can we do that? That's a great question to ask other professionals. And let me briefly recognize those other folks that we do have here with us today. I know I saw Chief Mike Armstrong from Bristol, Virginia. We have Assistant Chief Jim Everhart, who was alluded to earlier, from Kingsport. Fire Chief Jim Stables from Johnson City. We have Bristol, Virginia Sheriff Jack Weisenbarger. And then we have Chief Randy Reagan, who came up from Newport, Tennessee. So thank you all for being here today. And I always appreciate how people are leaders. And the style that Bob has been truly a good example and a reminder for me. You don't have to raise your voice. You can convey what you need to say very straightforward and just speak the truth, get a handle on it, and then be able to move forward with what needs to be done. And I want to say congratulations on your accomplishment, this milestone. And we sure will miss you, but we know that it sounds like Sonia's got some plans, and it doesn't involve bus tickets, but it does involve travel. So have some fun with that. And I want to introduce Alan Howard. I think Alan's going to come up. As he's coming up, I'm going to go ahead and present a plaque to Bob for his years of service with the city. It says, presented to Robert R. Barnes in appreciation for over 43 years of dedicated service to the city of Bristol, Tennessee from November 1974 to December 2017.
The fire service has a long tradition with a bell. In the 1600s, a town crier or a fire watchman would ring out a bell at night when there was a fire to alert the citizens. In the 1800s, as the telegraph came along, the bell in the firehouse rang out a box number which let the company know where the alarm or where the fire was. And then, as always, they've always adorned trucks for years to sound the alarm to get traffic out of the way before electric sirens or mechanical sirens. With that being said, are they here? A Shift would like to present you with this ceremonial bell and congratulate you on your years of service, Chief.
I speak on behalf of B Shift, the men on B Shift. We appreciate the leadership that Chief Barnes has shown since he has been the chief. He's helped me personally, I know, and each and every one of these guys on the shift. Again, Alan talked about his open door policy, and that's a fact. Anytime you need anything, all you had to do was go in, and Chief Barnes would take care of you, and we always appreciated that. I don't know where they're at. So on behalf of the guys at B Shift, we want to give you this rocking chair, and we hope you enjoy your retirement.
We've sort of had a running joke here for a long time, and it's been just a little thing we would say, in Bob we trust. Honestly, what has been considered as a joke has been the exact truth. Chief Barnes has served this department so well. He has served the people that work with him so well. And that trust and everything has went both ways. His trust in us has been just as important. We have tried for weeks now to convince him to stay. So I'm going to try to convince you one more time. Sonia, he tells us that honey-do lists don't exist because he does it all himself anyway. We've got a lot of retirees here today, so by a show of hands, whether you're in the fire department or whatever, who says that the honey-do list gets longer when you retire? So we've got a tremendous amount of people here that deny that they exist like he does. That long honey-do list that's going to get longer poses a lot of danger to you. You could trip over a vacuum cleaner cord. You can get cut on a knife in the kitchen. You can get burnt. All of this stuff can happen by you doing that. You could sit at your desk in there and take care of us, continue to take care of us, and wouldn't have to worry about getting injured some way by doing these things. So that's my last final thing that we could come up with to plead with you to stay. But in all honesty, we want you to enjoy the rest on your retirement, and it's been such an honor and a pleasure for all of us to serve with you and for you, and we appreciate you so much. Thank you. I know y'all didn't hear what he just said, but I'm not a coffee drinker. I took 2 sips when he hit a milestone. I think it was at 40 years old, 40 years of service rather. And the other morning, I had promised him that before he left, I would drink an entire cup of coffee with him, and I did that. He just mentioned it to me. Chief, we wanted to present you with a photograph of new Quint 5 sitting in front of new Station 5. I think it turned out really good, captured the station real well, and we hope you enjoy that.
Sure will, I appreciate it.
No slow.
That's just,
You know, when we think about people that have an influence in your life, when I came to work here 30 years ago, Chief Barnes, then Lieutenant Barnes, was my supervisor. And, you know, we were on a shift together. And, you know, when they talk about the fact that he has an open door policy and he don't always tell you what you might want to hear, but he tells you the truth, it didn't take me long to realize that working with Chief Barnes, and we spent many a day and night in a substation together, and we crawled through many a house together. And I can remember, you know, the night we were fighting a fire at the city garage, we were on the first engine in, we ran out of water, laid the hose down and walked back, and then the barrels started levying in front of us, going up like mushroom clouds. It didn't take long to realize that somebody's got your back. And I think that Chief Barnes realized that I had his back when I needed to, and he had my back. But not only when we're in a fire. One thing that I realized early on about Chief Barnes is when his men are right, he's going to go to bat for you, and he's going to stick up for you all the way to the end. So you could always count on him. You could count on him being there when it was tough, and you could count on him being there, you know, just in the things that were going on within the department. We've seen a lot of different things in the last 30 years that I've been here. We've been through some very interesting times. The things that Mr. Sora mentioned, we went through a lot of those together. Some of them weren't as pleasant as others were, but we've been through all of that. And Chief Barnes always stood up for what was right. He stood up for his men. And, you know, I appreciate that. And when I think about the fact that I started 30 years ago and he was my supervisor and he's still my supervisor today, my career is very much went along with his. And one thing that I realize is that where I am in my career today, in a great part, I owe to him, but who I am as a person today, in a very great part, I owe to him, because when you think about role models, he is a perfect role model. And he's always been a role model to me. And so, Chief Barnes, this is the day that none of us have been looking forward to, but a day that we knew would come. And, you know, I want to make a little presentation to you from the administrative staff here. We wanted to put something together for you that would kind of highlight your career from the start to the finish. So we've got your badges. Yeah, that's why I needed to borrow those badges, so I could make sure I ordered the replacements exactly like the ones that we needed for other people. But I'm going to give them back to you. I told you I'd give them back to you, but we wanted to make that which kind of highlights your career from when you started in '74 to when you retire today. And so, again, it's been a privilege serving with you. It's been an honor, and I thank you for all that you've been as a supervisor, as a friend.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. The first one's made out of stone. They had metal.
Yeah, the first badge in there is made out of stone, he said. They didn't have metal in those days.
When I first got here, I come out of dispatch, and I remember calling him one night about 3 in the morning. Well, one morning, Chief, you got a structure fire, and I hung up. 15 seconds later, he run me back, said, where's it at? So that's the first time I didn't meet you, but I talked to you. But. So about 16 or 17 years later, I'm up here up front doing a report, and he's going out the front door up there getting in his battalion chief car. Was it captain or battalion chief? I can't remember. It don't matter, but I said, where you going? I don't know if you ever got to talk to Chief real good. He turned around and he went, so you're flipping business. I'm going to get me something to eat. Is that all right? You going to sign me out? So ever since then, before he'd go to a meeting, go home, whatever, Chip signed me out. If I'd come by here visiting, which is, y'all know, pretty regular, he's Chip signed me out. So I just wanted to present this to him from, I guess, me. Say it's not all right with me, but just this one last time, I'll sign you out. So.
After an emotional speech from Chief Barnes, he closed with a flash of his signature wit and humor.
We were on the way over here tonight. She said, Bob, just act professional when you get up to talk. And I said, well, why should I change after 43 years? Just be myself. But anyway, I do thank all of you for being here. I'm sorry I got emotional, but y'all mean a lot to me. Thank you.